Hi, this is Tanya, blogger and founder-in-chief with Napa Valley Vegan. Thank you for joining us tonight. You're watching online, so we'd love for you to go interactive, so please log in, and using your webcam, we will be able to see you on screen. So please make any comments or questions that you have for us tonight. I've got a great group of people with me tonight. They're with the Wildlife Rescue Center of Napa County. I'm going to start out introducing Deb Wellborn. She is in charge of the squirrel rehabilitation. We've got Janice Taylor here. She is the awesome opossum rehabilitator. Back here is Thea. She is the wildlife administrator. And then John Kamaski, you are the vice president of the board of directors. So welcome. We're so happy to have you guys here tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, we're thrilled. So John, why don't you share with us what the rescue is and how it assists the community?
Sure. I probably should start with our luck in Napa County. Napa County is fortunate to have a huge range of wildlife. There's literally hundreds of species of birds and mammals that either live here year-round or come through the valley because we're on some of the major migratory routes. Trouble is, not all of them are lucky, and every year thousands of them become injured. And in the wild, if an injury is severe enough, it's pretty much a death sentence. But there are some, because of people noticing them or they just come across our paths in a variety of ways, who really have a second chance. They get rescued, they get rehabilitated, and they get a chance to re-enter the wild kingdom. And if you take the kind of organization that we are, the ones all around the world literally save hundreds of thousands of birds and mammals every year. Wow. So a little bit about us. Again, we're the Wildlife Rescue Center of Napa County. We've been around since 1991. We're a nonprofit. We're about 99% plus volunteer, which means that we pretty much depend wholly on people who care. And it's not just caring, Tanya, about with them opening their checkbooks, it's caring with their lives, because there's a number of them, and we're going to talk to the folks in the audience about this today too, that actually give part of their life by helping us to work with the animals, because it is a volunteer organization and we need extra hands to actually do that. And we're proud that the efforts of all the people that we've had getting wildlife back to their wild lives helped us to rescue 1,150 plus animals last year.
Wow, that is amazing. Good job, guys. Really amazing. Wow.
So how all that works is something Thea's going to tell us a little bit
Please
more about.
do. Yeah, share with us.
Well, thank you, ToutSuite Social Club, for having us, and Tanya. My name is Thea Reedy. I'm the Wildlife Administrator for Wildlife Rescue Center of Napa County. And the main question that people always ask me is, where do you get these animals? Where do they come from? And it's just from people like you, like me, like Tanya, which we'll hear about her rescue event. And I got started in this because I wanted to be able to help. I would see animals dying on the side of the road, hit by a car, and I just didn't like being helpless. So I got into this to learn about them, to learn how to help them. And I wanted to stress what John said. Yes, thousands of animals every year need our help. But another reason for really wanting to get involved with this is that humans cause a lot of the misery to wildlife. Yeah. They're hit by car, they're poisoned by rodenticides, they slam into windows. Birds do that all the time and get injured. Or we cut down trees and nests come down. And so it's a way of giving back. It's a way of helping these creatures that we live with on this planet. And one of the first way that you can get, if you find a wild animal that needs help, is to call our hawk line. We call it the hawk line. The number is 707-224-HAWK, which stands for, or translates to 4295. So 224-4295. Our dispatch line operates that phone. They'll take your call and either call out for rescue. We have a rescue team that will go out and capture that animal and bring it into care. We have transporters that take the animal to our satellite care facilities or to our songbird clinic, and the animal receives medical attention there first, medical evaluation. We triage, we decide if the animal is savable, which is difficult because some of them are not, but we will give subcutaneous fluids and hydrate and start feeding and caring for that animal. And many, many of them are released. If an animal needs to go, we partner with other centers in the area that may have facilities to handle an animal that we cannot, like International Bird Rescue that has capability to handle water birds. The animal will go there for care after it's stabilized. But we do treat many different species of mammals, and our songbird clinic, at our songbird clinic alone that will open April 1st, goes through September, we'll handle over 500 birds, most of them babies, that have been orphaned by tree trimmers or the parents are killed, and they come into our care. And we have about a 50% release rate, which is extremely successful. So I'm very proud of our team of rehabilitators.
That's right. We all deserve applause for that. Good job.
We probably should also add that because wildlife is what it is, not everyone is trained to handle it. And we're the only organization in Napa County that has the facilities and the training to do the rehabilitation work. We're the only ones permitted by the Fish and Wildlife Commission in order to do that.
Mm-hmm. It used to be a backyard thing. Everybody has a story, and a lot of people tell me a story about their mother or their grandmother, you know, taking in wild animals and nursing them back to health. Mm-hmm. And that's wonderful. It's a wonderful model, but times have changed, formulas have improved. The care that we can give them now is very much improved. If you are interested in working with wildlife, we need you. Wildlife needs you. Our songbird clinic alone has over, I want to give you an exact number, 84 unique volunteers that run it from 7 a.m. until 8:30 at night, with feeding these babiest birds, the babiest of the birds, every 15 minutes. So it's intense, and that's what the parents do. The baby bird parents do that, but they're only taking care of 3 or 4. We're taking care of 500 through the course of the season. So we need you. Call us. My number is 707-685-5411. You can call me directly or call our Hawk line, 707-224-4295, and that message will get to me. But we need you. We'll train you in our wildlife rehabilitation. There are many ways to volunteer with Wildlife Rescue Center of Napa County. It doesn't all have to be hands-on animal care, but you can also help in many ways, administratively, fundraising, event coordination, data entry, building shelters, building cages for our mammals, and building aviaries for our birds, collecting donations. I mean, the list is endless. There's a place for you in Wildlife Rescue Center of Napa County.
You know, it's interesting that you talk about volunteers and kind of everyone has their story. I actually got involved with the wildlife rescue because of Deb Wellborn. She is my hero. I was actually at my hair salon. One of the volunteers had dropped off a flyer with the name of the Wildlife Rescue Center on it. I saw it, didn't think about it, forgot all about it, and one day I was walking my dog, Toby Jug, and we were walking through Fuller Park near downtown Napa, and here was this tiny baby squirrel on the ground under a trash can, and I scooped him up and I said, "You are not going to die on my watch," and I got him home as fast as I could, and I thought, okay, something about wildlife. I saw something about wildlife. I got on Google, I found you guys right away, I called the Hawk line. Within 30 minutes, Deb was at my home to get the squirrel. It was amazing. The squirrel survived. He's got his own habitat now in Yountville, and I was just in such awe of her and how hard she works that I finally became a volunteer through the Songbird Clinic. So thank you.
No,
thank you for... Yeah. Yeah, good, good. Well, Thea, thank you for all that great information. Do you want to move on to Janice to talk about what you do for the Songbird Clinic? Sure. And for the opossums of Napa County? All right.
So our only actual clinic is the Songbird Clinic. We have a facility for the songbirds, which is seasonal, and the rest of our rehabilitation happens in volunteers' homes. So we are licensed and trained and have spaces set aside for rehabilitation of these mostly mammals and some specialty birds. Only songbirds come to the songbird clinic, so there are birds of prey, there are woodpeckers, quail, hummingbirds, crows, and all of these go to specialized care in people's homes. So one of our goals is eventually to have our own center, since we're the only county in Northern California that does not have their own center. So we're hoping that we'll have our own center so we won't have to have so many animals in home rehab, or actually to send them out to other facilities. We could keep them here in Napa. So I got interested in opossums, and I've been doing opossum rehab for 8 years.
So
and I mostly get the tiny babies. You're going to be seeing some babies today of squirrels, and my opossum babies are just as small as these squirrels, or sometimes smaller. And they usually come into my care because their moms were hit by a car. And there are only North American marsupial, and so the babies are in the pouch, and concerned citizens, people who know about opossums, will see a possum hit and they will pull over and check and see if there's babies. If there's babies, those opossums carcasses are put into a box and they're brought to Silverado, and then they look at the babies and they call me and I get them in. And then I care for them until they're releasable. Little baby opossums don't take a bottle, they don't suckle, because they've been attached to their mom in their pouch. So I actually have to, when they're really little, put a tube into their tummies to feed them, to gavage feed them, until they can eat out of a dish. So it's
real
very
work.
time consuming, every 3 hours sometimes, all night long, and but extremely rewarding.
So you had mentioned that a lot of these animals go to home rehabilitators. So just to mention again, these are all volunteers, right?
Yes.
Okay,
100%.
so wow, that is just amazing. The wonderful people out there that are helping. That's lovely.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Silverado, Janice was referring to Silverado Veterinary Hospital on the corner of Silverado and Trancas, that the public can drop animals off with them during their hours of operation, which is every day except Sunday, and they'll give us a call and we'll go and pick them up from there. It's a convenient drop-off place.
Yeah, they do an amazing job. I do like a sweep every Saturday evening to make sure that there are no more animals left there for the evening, and if there are, I take them to whomever's in charge of rehabilitating that day, and they're just a wonderful group of people and give so much help and support to the wildlife, which is really lovely. So it looks like Deb. Yes, we got another amazing volunteer home rehabber, Deb Wellborn, and your expertise is squirrels. And it looks like we've got a couple squirrels with us today.
We do.
Yay!
We have.
It's awesome.
Just a week ago, I got 2 little baby fox squirrels. They came in at 26 grams, and at that time they had no fur on them. And right now they're starting to fur. This is a little fox squirrel. It's approximately 3 weeks old. And he weighed 26 grams, and now he's weighing about 56 grams. So they grow really fast. We're feeding them. We feed them, depending on their age. When they first came in, they got fed every 2 hours. And then it lengthens as they get older. And the amount of food they get depends on their weight, so that's all adjusted accordingly. And we feed them through a syringe, and it's, at this age, they're so tiny and they're so delicate, and it's really easy to aspirate them, so we're very, very careful. And then I have one little baby gray. Now the reds came in because the nest was blown down from a tree. Unfortunately, I didn't find out till later, but the mother was there. Mom squirrels are very good mothers, and they will come and get their babies. There's always backup nests that they make. And if the guy would have just, the man that found him, actually his dog found him, and which I'm grateful he brought them in, but if they would have taken the dog inside, the squirrel would have probably most likely came down, retrieved the babies, and taken them to another nest. And then this little one is a gray squirrel, and it's our native western gray squirrel, and it came in because they were trimming a tree. The lady that was having her tree trimmed had thought the nest was a vacant old nest, and a bird's nest. And so unfortunately, it was a squirrel's nest. And squirrel's nests are like big clusters of leaves up in a tree. And sometimes they look like there's nothing up there, but they're inside it. So the tree trimmers, as they were trimming the tree, the nest fell down, and this one baby survived. There were 2 others in the nest, and one baby didn't survive. It hit the ground pretty hard, and another one they didn't find till later because it fell into a box that had pots. So it came, this one's probably approximately 3 weeks old, and it will, it's about 54 grams, and we will keep them and rehab them for, it takes about 3 months to rehab these little guys, and we transition them from carrier on warmth to a larger cage inside, not on warmth, and then eventually transition them to inside, outside, and then to larger enclosures until they're released. And I really love these guys. They're really sweet, and they're very smart. People go, well, why do squirrels always get hit? And I say, because a squirrel, it doesn't, like when it runs across the street, it doesn't run straight across. It's like hawks. For them to prevent a hawk from just coming down and capturing them, they zigzag. And so it keeps a hawk from just coming down and picking them up. And also they plant our forest. 25% of the food, the nuts that they bury, as you all probably find in your gardens, are trees that are coming up. And can you imagine how many forests they have planted for us over the years? So they're
amazing.
Really, and they're beautiful. I can't even imagine a world without squirrels, a world without birds. I mean, we're so lucky. They give so much. And when they're at this age, well, when they're a little bit tinier, at this age, I don't have to get up during the middle of the night. But in the beginning, you do have to get up in the middle of the night. But it's so rewarding. And I would do it in a heartbeat anytime.
So had they waited until winter to do that trimming? Would that have made a difference?
It would have made a large difference. There's a window of time when people can trim their trees, and if they can do it in the winter is probably the best. Not wait till spring. Late fall or early, winter is the best time. Now it's like we're getting babies in.
Already. Is that early? Is that early
it
for
is
the
kind
squirrels
of
or
early,
no? Okay.
But it's because of the weather changes.
Right.
I believe that squirrels are out frolicking a little earlier because they're out of their dens.
Yeah.
So
they just get on with things, yeah.
And so late fall, like December, early January, but not wait much later. And that goes with birds' nests.
Right. That's great information, I think, for people that are going to have their trees trimmed, to know that there's a window where you really need to be cautious to prevent this from happening in the first place.
And a lot of times, if the tree has to come down, if there's another, the mother is usually always watching. So if you can relocate that nest, if you see them all around, relocate it. She'll move the babies, and she'll or put the babies down, put them in a spot where she can see them, and she'll move them.
That's great information.
The best thing
It's
to
great.
do would be to call us. Call our hotline if you find a baby mammal or baby bird. Call us, because it might not need to come into rehab. We might be able to tell you ways to reunite it with the mother and keep it out of rehab. Nobody can raise this baby squirrel. As good as Deb is and her squirrel team, nobody can do it better than the animal's own parent, teaching them their natural behaviors and growing them up strong. The mother has the exact milk that they need.
I hope everyone watching can see these little guys. They are just beyond precious. So.
Very addictive.
Yeah.
And these squirrels, they're here because their eyes are sealed, their ears are sealed. They really don't know who they are.
Right.
They just know they're hungry.
Yeah.
But they are wild animals, and we never treat them as pets. The goal is always to release any animal that comes in. We don't make pets of them. Deb is wearing gloves when she touches them. There's, they're just kept wild.
Right.
And people say, but isn't it hard? And I'm like, no, it's such a beautiful thing to, once they're ready to be released, to release them back into the wild, where they came from, because that's where they want to go back. And it's just, I don't name them, I don't get attached to them, I try to give them the best of care, but as far as being attached, I just bless them on their journey out.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, you have to know you did so much for them. That's got to make it so much easier to get them back out into the wild where they belong.
Do you remember what you named yours?
I did. I was new. I was not a volunteer yet, obviously. When I found the little squirrel, I decided that her name was Petunia and that she was going to survive no matter what. And Deb took her, got her hydrated, and sure enough, she was a boy. So we renamed Petunia Peter, and last I heard, Pete is doing fabulously. So yeah, again, thank you.
We did release them. A lot of times what we do on release, I don't release them in my backyard or anything like that. It's like they get released back to where they came from. If that's not appropriate place, like if it's too overcrowded or if the people would rather them not be released there, then we find a spot, a great spot where they'll flourish to release them in. And we do get permission to release because we don't just release.
On private property.
Right. So it's, yeah, get involved. It's a beautiful thing. I have no babies. I should
You have
say
lots
that.
of babies.
I told my husband, I told my husband, I said, this is what we get for not having children of our own. So, yeah, I have hundreds of kids every year.
I have to admit, it's one of the most rewarding and amazing things I've ever done as well. So again, I can't thank Deb enough for saving that squirrel and just introducing me to this amazing wildlife rescue. It's just been such a great experience. So,
which is what I wanted to mention is that getting involved as a volunteer is that most of the volunteers who work find it to be an amazingly rewarding experience. They have a 3-hour shift and they come in week after week and they get a little baby bird maybe the size of your thumb and they watch it grow up and can watch it be released back into the wild where it came from, and it's really fabulously rewarding to know that you are a part of getting that animal back to the wild.
They give more than what we give them. They give back.
Yeah.
So it's really awesome.
yeah, very good. John, we're going to wrap things up in just a couple minutes, so why don't you talk to us about how the Wildlife Rescue gets funding and how do we take care of all these wildlife?
Well, as I said at the beginning, we both have people open their lives to us, and that's the volunteer opportunities. But also, we need to get some checkbooks open, just to put it out there. And we're starting a capital campaign. Janice, a little bit earlier, said that we don't have a permanent facility beyond the songbird here. And there's a number of different animals and conditions that we would like to treat right here in home territory. So we're starting a capital plan to get there. And our big event that's coming up, and you're all invited, you can find out about it at the bottom there with Napa Wildlife Center, is going to be at the Castillo de Amorosa. It's going to be on April the 4th, and it's going to be a fun night of food, music, lots of stuff wild, including some wild animals. We're going to have hawks and an owl, and one of Janice's possums, Posey, I believe, is going to make an appearance. So take a look at it. This is how we can get people help. There'll be both silent and live auctions, and attendance helps us as well.
Great. It sounds like an amazing party. I can't wait to be there. It's going to be wonderful. So I want to thank you all again for joining me tonight. It's been so great to hear all the great stories. John, Thea, Deb, Janice, I really appreciate you taking time out tonight because I know how hard you work for the animals as it is. So thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, please call us. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I think it was an amazing episode, and I really hope that people are aware now of the Wildlife Rescue Center of Napa County, and if you come across any animals that need assistance, please get a hold of us right away. And be sure to stay tuned tonight at 7 o'clock. Anna will be preparing a roux, which apparently is something you need to use for everything, from gravy to mac and cheese. So please stay tuned. Again, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.